What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mountains and Valleys podcast. I'm your host, Andrew Hilston, and I am so excited that you guys are back listening. We have a very, very, very special episode today because we have a very, very, very special guest.
Oh my goodness.
What? You can hear her. It's my beautiful fiance, Carly Fair, soon to be Carly Hilston.
Ooh, I like to hear that.
You like the ring of that?
I like it.
Nice. Okay, well, we officially have Carly on the podcast. I haven't really talked about you much. I think there was one episode where I mentioned my fiance, which was like 2 or 3 episodes ago. I don't remember why.
Ooh, I think I missed that. I'm not a good listener.
It's okay. We're not going to kick you off the podcast for that, but
Okay.
I do expect better results.
Okay.
Just kidding. Yeah, we have Carly on. We're going to be talking about a bit of like our story. And yeah, kind of talking about what God has done through us and what God has done through this and how he's, kind of brought both of us from certain situations to where we are now. And kind of just about his redemption. And yeah, but before we get into that, I do have a question for you, Carly.
Okay.
What is your biggest life goal?
Oh, that's a tricky one. My biggest life goal. Well, I'll talk about a life goal of mine.
Mm-hmm.
A life goal I have is to do a lot of traveling. To travel the world is my goal. Maybe not my biggest goal, but it is a thing I dream about. I love traveling so much. I've got to do quite a bit of traveling. My most recent trip was to Egypt and Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Thailand, New Zealand. I just love traveling. So I love the culture, like the people you meet, just how things are. I just like to see how different people around the world live their lives, and also just God's beautiful creation, the nature, the sights. I just love traveling so much. I can't just stay in Winnipeg all the time. I gotta go. So that's a huge life goal.
No,
Also a big life goal is to, of course, get married, which is coming up.
It's coming up.
Yeah, to have a family one day. All those things as well. But there's lots to look forward to.
Yeah, no, definitely. As I've gotten to know Carly more and as we've progressed in our relationship, traveling's definitely become a bigger goal of mine. As a kid, it definitely wasn't as big as it was for you. Maybe just because my family didn't do it as much and it wasn't as big in my family, but definitely as I've gotten to learn your passion for it and see your passion, it's been something that's become something that I'm really excited for, especially to do it with you and go and travel together. You're smiling a lot. Yeah.
That's exciting.
It is very exciting. It's something I'm really looking forward to. But before we get too far and get into our story, I'm going to pray quickly and then we'll get right into this. God, we just thank you for another episode. God, we just thank you for everything you're doing in our lives and all the viewers' lives. God, we're just forever thankful for who you are. And God, not just what you do for us, but just, who you are to us, that you are our Father and you call us sons and daughters. And God, we're just so thankful for that. And God, I just pray through our story today. Would you just be speaking through Carly and I? God, would you just be speaking to the hearts of the listeners? God, would you even be speaking to Carly and I's hearts? And God, you know what each and every one of us need in this season. And Lord, would you just speak to those very things? And God, as Carly and I talk, would you just be speaking through us? And knowing that we don't have to say the perfect words or the right words, but God, you're the one who does the work in our hearts. And we're just so thankful for that, Jesus. And God, would you just help us, keep us calm, keep us happy and joyful. And God, would you just be in the middle of this? In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, so our story. I'm going to start it at the start. I was born on October 4th, 2000.
No.
Anyways, no.
Let's get this show on the road, buddy.
Anyways, before I moved to Winnipeg, everybody on here knows that I'm from Regina. I've talked about I moved from Regina to Winnipeg before. Before I moved, my friends threw me kind of a going away party. And some people wanted to set me up on a dating app. kind of for fun, but also trying to find me a Regina girl to bring me back to Regina because they didn't want to lose me to Winnipeg. It didn't work. Newsflash, it didn't work. But I entertained the idea because I'm like, oh, whatever. It'll be fun. I'm kind of curious what is on there in a way. But I didn't actually believe in the dating app. I really didn't think it would actually do anything. And I was really skeptical. Skeptical? Was that the right word? I don't know. I just wasn't a believer. And yeah, so they created the dating app and they started swiping on a bunch of people. And it's a very niche Christian dating app. It's called Upward. Upward, if you guys want to sponsor us, we can be your poster childs, your poster relationship, your poster marriage.
Help pay for the wedding.
Yeah, exactly. Help pay for the wedding, and we will do some advertising for you. Anyways, so it's a very niche Christian dating app, so there's not a lot of people on it. So yeah, the search is got like really broad. So we were in Winnipeg swiping on people, and we ended up swiping on you. And you were in Winnipeg.
I don't know if you swiped on me or if one of your friends swiped on me. Thanks, guys.
Yep, you can thank them. And they know who they are. They take credit. But yeah, do you want to talk about your side of the story from the dating app?
I don't have much to say about the dating app other than it was kind of a strange dating app. I think it's an American app.
Yeah.
And I might have talked to one other person on the app. It's just like... There's like barely anyone on it. I always said it's kind of like a ghost town on that app.
Basically.
But yeah, me and Andrew had been matched for a little while already, I believe.
But
we just matched and never talked. We just were sitting in each other's matches. And one day, I hadn't checked that app in a long time, but I was sitting on a bench in the park by my house where I like usually often prayed about like relationships and like meeting the right person. And I don't know, after I just like... maybe out of frustration, I was like, oh, I'll just open Upward. And then I saw Andrew and I was like, oh, like it says that his location is currently in Winnipeg. And then I could also see that he was holding like a certificate in one of his pictures on his profile, and it said his first and last name. So then I was able to, of course, do my stalking and find him on Instagram. And I found that one of my best friends, her husband was like friends with Andrew on Instagram, and I was able to contact them, and they had good things to say about Andrew, and he's actually my best friend. We're one of my best friends. Her husband is in the same program as Andrew at university, and it's a very small program in Winnipeg. It's the athletic therapy program. So there's some connections there, and I was able to figure out that he wasn't a serial killer, and
who knows?
And then I messaged Andrew first.
You did message me first.
I asked him what his favorite road trip was that he's been on, because that was one of his prompts that he likes road trips. So that's how we started talking.
Yeah. And then, we started talking. It was about a day or two. And then I finally asked you out because my friends prompted me to. They told me, Andrew, you just have to ask her out, which is good because that's what you wanted. And then we went on.
Get off the app as quickly as possible.
Exactly.
Just go on a date and see if it works.
Yeah. And then, first date, asked you out, brought you flowers. Again, because of my friends, they told me to bring you flowers.
The flowers were a good move. I'd never had someone bring me flowers on a first date before.
My friends have given me good advice.
Thanks, friends.
Yeah, they've been great. Anyways, first date happens. It goes really good. And then we kind of come into this period of like 2 months where things are like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's all my fault. But things went really slow. I think at the time I was really caught up in school and I really struggled off the start. I've talked about that on the podcast, and I wasn't really willing to sacrifice school at the time and felt like I couldn't take a day off of studying in the evening to pursue a relationship. And then sometimes I had games on the weekend. So we were sometimes going out once every 2 weeks, which was definitely not enough. And I was really in my head with some other things about past relationships and some certain fears. And so it put us into this like 2 month period where like things were moving really slow. And we got to this period where it was like November and end of November kind of. Our first day was in October, kind of end of November, kind of got to this point where I kind of had to make a decision. I'll let you talk about those 2 months first. What was that like for you?
Yeah, the 2 months was just like very slow. I kept going out with Andrew every once in a while because he was super nice. I could just tell that he loved the Lord a lot. But yeah, dating was very new to him. And I think, one of our later dates, closer to when we kind of became more serious, I kind of was like, if I really need a man who's like going to like lead and like plan things and not like always wait for me. Like that's really what I'm looking for. And then Andrew kind of opened up about some struggles in that area. And
Yeah, like that was our 4th date. And yeah, we were driving home and you talked about that. And I opened up about a past relationship. And talked about in that relationship, I didn't lead well. And it's something that I realize and recognize and want to work on in this, and something that I need to work on. And I feel like I have and gotten better. Obviously, I'm not perfect and I still need to get better and lead more. And I'm learning as we continue to grow and as we continue engagement and even into marriage, that's going to continue to shift and change. And I need to shift and change with that, but definitely growing in that. But I guess that was one of the things that was holding me back. And we had a phone call end of November.
Yes.
Yep. And that was kind of the breaking point where Carly's like, Andrew, like we need to make a decision because we can't keep on doing this and going out as little as we are. Like if we want to pursue this, like we have to see each other more often.
You had to decide if you could make time for it with your school schedule. That was the big thing.
That was one of the biggest things holding me back. And I think there's just some other things with just fears from other past relationships. And
that's true.
Being scared to get into it out of fear that like similar things would happen and I would screw things up again and lose out on an amazing opportunity. But I talked to one of my mentors after we had our phone call and we had a date planned later that weekend. And I talked to my mentor, it was actually before our date, and kind of said like, hey, here's where I'm at. And he's like, Andrew, you can make time. Like time isn't an issue. Like you can easily budget your time a little bit better and do a little bit more studying one day and go out one evening. Like that's not going to kill you. And I'm just like, you know what? You're right. And then he even talked through just some of the fears and that I was having, which is past relationships and things not going right. And he talked through that and said, this is a different situation. You just have to let God lead in it. You know, mistakes you made in the last one and you can improve on them in this one. And you say after that I became a different person.
Yeah.
And,
he was like,
and I really did.
Totally different. Like the date after we went on that, like, I guess it was kind of a defining date for us because we started talking about like if this is actually something we wanted to pursue seriously. And I was trying to decide that too. And I kind of needed to see where Andrew was at to make that decision. And like he came in, like I was like, who is this man? Like he was like ready like to pursue, and he was ready to make this happen, obviously with God guiding us and still, letting him lead us. But Andrew was like ready to
It was literally one call from my mentor to get me out of my head.
Thank you. You know who you are.
And then since then everything's been kind of just skyrocketed and went super quick from there. In terms of like a worldly date and everything's went super quick. In terms of a Christian dating relationship, did it go quick? I don't know. I feel like it's normal, but anyways, and then December, I asked you to officially be my girlfriend.
It was like exactly 1 year after I had been in a kind of a tricky relationship as well. It was like exactly 1 year since they had a bit of a heartbreak, which was pretty cool how God works. I don't think Andrew even knew that was the exact day that I had a pretty hard.
Did. Oh, did I?
You didn't plan it around that day, though.
I didn't plan it around that day, but it
just happened
out
to be on that exact day. It was actually hilarious.
Yeah.
But
and then you go away over Christmas break to Turkey and Egypt, as you said. Egypt and Turkey, I'll say in the right order. And I went back home for Christmas and I went to a cabin with my friends. There we go. That's English. Yeah. And during that period, did we talk like every day?
We talked on the phone every day because I just
Yeah, we
wanted
did.
to tell him every single thing I was doing.
Yeah.
That showed me that I was really,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, interested in him because I just wanted to tell him everything.
Yeah. At our engagement party, I was talking to somebody and he asked me, it's like, when was the moment you knew that you wanted to like marry Carly? And like, and I would say it was after that.
Yeah, after that trip,
Yeah.
things really changed because I was like, oh, I just want to be with him. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be away for 2 weeks.
Mhm. Yeah. Like, I think both of us felt that. It's like, we both just wanted to talk every day because we just wanted to see each other and tell each other about what was going on. And I think that was something that really showed me it's like, okay, I want to pursue this. I can really see this happening. Like, there's so much that Carly had that made me want to pursue and like continue on in a relationship. But it was like after that point, it's like, I want to spend my whole life with this girl.
Aw.
And then
Cute.
things just went really quick after that. When did we start ring shopping? April? Or was it even before that?
I think we went ring shopping. Yeah. Sometime maybe end of April.
End of April. So like
Possibly May.
So then we were starting to talk about it like February,
Yeah.
March.
I'd say it took us about 3 or 4 months to like know this was like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got engaged June 13th.
Yes.
Yep. And
Exactly 8 months before our wedding on
Exactly.
February 13th.
Yep. If you want to come to the wedding, feel free to just pop by.
Don't do that.
We're kidding. Anyways. Yeah. The things have been amazing since, and yeah, there's definitely been some trickier challenges in engagement that we didn't see in dating, and they're not something that I'm scared of. And being like, oh man, there's challenges, I got to get out of this, but more, okay, there's challenges. This is a good thing, and this is teaching us for marriage. And there's just so much about this that makes me excited and happy for the future. And
Me too.
yeah. I want to transition into kind of what we've learned from this relationship and what God has really taught us. And one of the biggest things he's taught me is how to lead. That's something I was talking about before. And in a past relationship, I didn't. And I was very passive in a way, and kind of just the way that I've always been is people pleaser. And that's the way that I want to be in a relationship. Like, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think you want to hear to keep you happy. So I'll avoid any conflict. And that's the way I am with everybody, not just dating relationships, but any relationships. And I noticed that in like my past relationship is that's how I was, and that wasn't right. And after that relationship ended, like I really realized like, oh man, like I didn't lead properly in that. And the way in which I thought I was doing things right in not bringing things up to not cause conflict, to try and keep things peaceful, actually wasn't right. And something God had to teach me in this was how to properly lead. And a lot of that was in making decisions and being the one to initiate. I don't necessarily love initiating because I'm always scared, like, okay, what if I initiate and the person doesn't enjoy it, or the person didn't want me to initiate? And then I just get all in my head. And so I'm like, okay, it's easier for me to just like check in and be like, okay, like, do you want to do a date this day? Do you want to do that? Like, oh, what do you want to do? And like, I was never able to like properly lead. And that's something God has really taught me. And something, again, as I explained earlier, like he's still teaching me. And it takes work, it takes effort, and it's not something that just naturally comes. It's something that God really has to teach me and has to grow me in, because I can't do it on my own strength. Because when I tried to do it on my own strength, I didn't lead properly. And I think that's one of the biggest things God has taught me. And one of the other biggest things was how in control he is. Again, I try to do things on my own strength. And when I thought about things logistically with Carly and I, that's what put me into like that 2-month period where I wasn't truly able to make a decision. And I was very fearful because I looked at my abilities and thought, okay, I'm just going to screw this up again. Like I screwed up my past relationship. And I was in this belief that I screwed up my only shot at true love. And I had one shot and that was it. Like that's really a belief that I had, and God really changed that in me through Carly. And it was just even things like that like kept me out of like really pursuing Carly at the start for those 2 months. I was really caught in my head. I was really fearful, not just because of school, but because of like past relationships. And God like really showed me, it's like, Andrew, I am in control here. Like you can really lean and rely on me. Like you have grown. And it was hard for me to see how much I've grown because I wasn't able to do any of this in a relationship since my last one. But like even God telling me, it's like, I've showed you these things. I've showed you my heart, and I've showed you where I want to lead you and guide you and grow you. And now here's an opportunity to walk that out, because I don't believe God can just automatically flip a switch and I just become a leader and a good leader in a relationship. Like it has to come through trying and being in a relationship to learn how to lead in a relationship. And so God was really showing me that. It's like, Andrew, this is an opportunity to learn and grow and lead. And God has really done that. And so I'm thankful for what God has done. And he's taught me so much more than just those two things, but I've taken up a little bit too much time. Carly, what has God taught you in this relationship?
Oh, he's taught me lots of things. I would say the biggest thing is, I don't know, I think I was in a place in my life where, I don't know, in the past, I believe that, yeah, God couldn't provide something better for me than like what I had. Like I was like, oh, like I guess I'm just destined to like be single because this thing that I thought was really good didn't work and was way harder than it should have been. And I just didn't, I guess I kind of, yeah, I got a bit maybe pessimistic towards the idea that I would meet someone even better, like that God had something better for me out there than what I had. But he did. And I think he taught me that his plan is so much better than what I could even imagine, that he will exceed my expectations, even if I can't imagine that anything better is there. Like that God brought me Andrew, and this relationship has been so peaceful, so full of joy. Like it's just been so redemptive. Like I needed like redemption in this area of my life, and like, yeah, God brought it. And like along the way in the process, did I always trust fully? Did I always fully believe that he would do this for me, that he would provide this for me? No, I was, like I said, a little bit pessimistic in this area just because of some tricky things I'd been through. But yeah, God was so patient with me as I struggled to truly believe that he would bring me the man he has for me. And yeah, even in my impatience and my frustration, he like was so kind with me, and he didn't hold that against me. He just kind of walked it through with me. And yeah, then I met Andrew, and kind of the rest is history. So God's goodness, just he continued to show me his goodness, and that he loves me so much, and that he knows what's best for me. And that, yeah, I think that I also learned when something is from God, it won't be there. I'm not saying it won't be difficult, but it won't be like you're forcing it. Like God, of course you have to work towards it. And I don't believe that everything is just going to be so peaceful, but like this was so much more peaceful, and I didn't have to force it. It felt like God was just slowly leading us down this path towards each other. I hope that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't remember if you remember this, but you told me that one day, like early on in our relationship, that like you felt more peace about this than any other relationship that you'd been in. And you've told me, and at that time you told me about some of your other relationships. I'm like, that's crazy. Like, how can you already feel more peace about this than your other relationships? But like, then as you went more into your story, like I understood it. But honestly, I was the same way as well. And I felt like so much peace in this. And dating wasn't hard. Like once we got over those 2 months, like everything was really smooth sailing. And now with engagement, things have gotten not a lot tougher, but like there's just been different
more
challenges
to figure out.
Like we're getting closer and closer, and things are getting more real, and our lives are closer to being intertwined, and that just brings challenges. And even at cell group, we were talking about that with friends, and they're like, yep, that's normal, that's natural. I'm like, okay, that's good, that's no problem.
But it still hasn't been like forcing it. Like it's God, his plan is so good. It sounds so cliche, but he truly, I think that when the desires of your heart are pure, like I think he often fulfills those.
Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree with that. And it's been so cool to see what God has done through this, and even just our story with how we met. Like I can even see God's hand in that, even as silly as it is. I can see God's hand in it, and I've seen God's hand throughout this as well. And I'm so excited to see what God does in our future throughout the rest of engagement and into marriage and to having kids and being grandparents.
Slow down there. Slow down, Andrew.
But yeah, you know what? I don't know. I hope you got something from this. I know it was just our story, but I know what I've learned from the podcast is I don't have to say the absolute perfect words for you to get something out of it, but God can just be speaking to your hearts. And our testimony is God's story and what God is doing, and a testament to his love and his greatness, and even in our case, his redemptiveness. And I hope that God was able to speak to you through something. And yeah, Carly, do you have anything else?
I think I'll just say I talked a lot about how this relationship has been peaceful and not as difficult. And it just felt like there wasn't like forcing, but I think sometimes God does call us to things that are more hard. And just because something feels hard, it doesn't mean it's not from God. I just think that like when something feels like you're forcing it, that can sometimes, maybe that would be a sign that maybe it's not where God's calling you. I just want to make sure the listeners know that sometimes God does call us to hard things, but I feel like with our relationship, it was like the fact that it wasn't forced. It just was natural. But sometimes things are hard. I just want to make sure.
For sure.
But we're just thankful that we are where we are now, and we're so excited for the future.
And things will be hard.
And things will be. I feel like we're probably in like one of the easiest stages of our life right now.
Yeah.
But praise the Lord.
Amen.
He will be guiding us and be with us. I don't know how we would do anything without the power of Christ.
Yeah. I think that's a good place to wrap it up. So thank you again, Carly, for coming on and being the second ever guest on the Mountains and Valleys podcast.
The best guest. Sorry, Seth.
Sorry. No comment.
Okay.
You are definitely, no, never mind. Not going to say anything.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
Yeah. I just want to thank you all for listening. It's such a pleasure. I just want to thank you all for listening. Such a pleasure, such a joy, such an honor that you guys choose to listen. You don't have to, but you guys choose to. And it's just such a blessing that you guys do. And I'm just so thankful for it. If you want to support the show, you can give it a like, a rating, a review, a comment. You can even share it with other people. All those things just help the podcast grow. So if you could do those things, it'd be very much appreciated. And to stay up to date with the show, give us a follow on Instagram at the Mountains and Valleys podcast. That's where you'll find show clips, show updates, things like that. So stay up to date with the show, give us a follow on there. And hope you guys receive something. I know I definitely did. And I just want to thank you again, Carly. You were an amazing guest.
You're welcome.
And just like that, we're going to sign off. Love you all. Praying for you all. And we're going to catch you guys on the next episode.